grade 1 in a rural village gets access to personalized numeracy and literacy lessons. A child in a hospital doesn't lose out on school learning. Township teenagers make movies on issues that are important to them and that they want to share with the world. A nonverbal learner with autism communicates for the first time. These are the stories of my journey with iSchool Africa. Stories of triumphs against odds. iSchool Africa is the story of how we take the world's best technology and bring it to the most marginalized and rural communities with the one single intention of increasing and leapfrogging access to quality, future-ready education. Today, as we talk about SDG 4, I don't think it's necessary to reiterate the importance of education as a fundamental human right, nor do I think we want to lament how South Africa is tracking against SDG 4. We all know the stats and the challenges only too well. Today, I want to share with you my journey, some learnings, some insights on how technology can revolutionize education and achieve and help us to accelerating the achievement of SDG 4. I'm often asked in my journey is, why do we need to bring this technology to these schools when there's no toilets or there's no food? Yes, of course we have to address this, and urgently, but the SDGs are not sequential, they are not linear. I'm also asked often, our schools have nothing. Wouldn't this or that be better or fine? Often referring to second-hand technology or really low-class devices. I know we all know the definition of insanity, but sometimes in these conversations, and I try to say this politely, are we not feeling over and over again insane? And that doesn't sound polite, is I think in order to make a dent in achieving SDG 4, we have to look at widespread education innovation. We have to look at rebooting and relooking how technology can change teaching and learning. Today, more than ever, more children are in school than ever before. This is progress, but they are not all learning or mastering key or core basic skills. The World Bank refers to this as learning poverty. The World Bank says that 9 out of 10 children in sub-Saharan Africa are currently living in learning poverty with not being able to read by the time they reach the end of primary school. If trends continue, by 2050, more than 700 million children globally will be in learning poverty. Of course, the pandemic took us to places and took us decades back in learning losses, but the stakes are too high if we don't accelerate and we take decades to catch up. We need to really relook what the learning experience is. iSchool Africa makes sure that we go into communities with tools to master core concepts as well as making our learners digitally literate. A mobile iPad lab is rotated from classroom to classroom, and teachers, for example, in our foundation phase, learned how to facilitate numeracy and literary software that gives immediate and personal feedback to our learners. When I've asked teachers over the years, what is the biggest impact that this program has had in their classroom? The teachers always answer, no one wants to miss an iPad lesson. Everyone loves learning. We want learners to be able to love learning, which goes on to the next point of what we need to do as we accelerate achievement of SDG 4. We need to reboot teaching and learning. It is not sufficient. It is wishful thinking to think that if we just put devices into schools, we've reached digital transformation. We need to change. We need to see transformation in pedagogy. We need to create learning experiences that allow for creativity, joy, curiosity, and a love for learning. I want to share with you one of my favorite programs. This is a program we ran in Soshanguve Technical High School in a township north of Pretoria. Learners were tasked to create model cars out of recycled material. They then needed to code on their iPads how to race these cars using the iPads as remote controls. And then they had the fun of an amazing race where they competed against each other. You can just imagine the learning that's happening here. Coding, computational thinking, design thinking, teamwork, collaboration, curiosity, and fun. Isn't this the kind of lesson you wish you had at school? We see that in order to create the education that we need our students, our youth, not just to be consumers of content, but to be creators and contributors. By learners creating content, they master the most difficult skills and concepts. We also be able to make banks of content that is locally relevant and really create personalized and locally relevant content. Personalized learning is really what is critical now. And while we discuss the achievement of the SDGs now, we cannot ignore how AI can accelerate the achievement of SDGs today. How can AI revolutionize education in today's world? So who better to ask than Meta AI? So I put in the prompt, give me 50 words on how AI can revolutionize education. And this was the answer. AI will revolutionize education by providing personalized learning experiences, adaptive learning pathways, intelligent tutoring systems, freeing human teachers to focus on guidance and mentorship. AI-driven analytics will inform instructional design, improve learning outcomes, and make high-quality education more accessible to a broader range of students. Let's look at two simple examples of using AI. In a South African school, an average of 30 learners, if a teacher had to mark a low-stake assessment with 15 minutes per assessment, that would take 7.5 hours. A teacher can't do this as much as needed. AI would be able to mark this in minutes, as well as give robust, meaningful feedback to create trends and personalized learning pathways. Another challenge we all know in our schools across the country is accessibility and access to local languages. AI can easily take resources and translate them into our African languages, making lessons more inclusive and learning acquisition and language acquisition more accessible. So this really takes me on to the next key factor of SDG 4, which is the importance of inclusion for vulnerable people. And the SDG 4 calls out vulnerable youth, including learners with disabilities. This is a really important part of iSchool Africa. It's a personal passion of mine. Through technology, we can truly give access and empower quality education for children with disabilities. One of the programs that I'm most proud of is we trained 8 deaf youth to become iOS app developers. Through this training and through seeing them really thrive as app developers now, we can see how inclusive education can lead to meaningful employment. I would like to share with you some feedback from Chue, who's one of the successful graduates who is now working as an app developer.
My time at iSchool Africa has changed my life on both a personal and professional level. Personally, it has made me feel like I belong and I have a purpose. Being part of a community that actively promotes inclusivity and celebrates variety has been tremendously inspiring. I've had the chance to work and interact with people who are very passionate about changing the world, and this has motivated me to aim high in everything that I do. And professionally, iSchool Africa has allowed me to grow and show my abilities. It has been immensely fulfilling to work on creative projects that addresses the needs of people with disabilities. And my development as an app developer has been greatly aided by the encouragement and support I've received from the iSchool Africa staff. And my understanding of the value of inclusivity has expanded as a result of so many projects that emphasize on accessibility, which helps to make technology that will benefit everyone.
As we have a call to action to fast track the attainment of SDG 4. I know it's challenging, but it's well worth it if we all want to leapfrog to a place where all young people get the education they deserve. Let's not compromise on quality. Let's use technology to achieve things that were previously not possible. Let's not shy away from AI. Let's explore the potential of AI. I know we can do this, and I promise you, it will be worth it. Thank you.